have I feel like everyone knows them.
Yeah.
It's Alex Glow.
Heyo! I am struggling because I just realized. I don't know if you can hear me. Please
Yeah,
let
yeah,
me
we
know.
can.
Oh, perfect.
Okay.
I just managed to do something I've never done before, which is I took my display off of my main monitor right before the stream by doing something horrible, and I managed to get one monitor back on, my like auxiliary one, which is a Raspberry Pi monitor, and so I'm gonna be doing everything in tiny. We'll see how it goes.
That's great. That's just
Welcome
fun.
to the mini
Hey,
Yeah,
stream.
it's a live
good
stream.
fun. No
Okay, so
worries.
let me see
That's
if I
what
can get
everyone
at
wants.
least
Yeah.
like something on. Oh, why am I over there? This is horrible. I'm just gonna move. I'm gonna move this monitor over here and hope that it doesn't die. I think the connections are wiggly. It's gonna be interesting. No, I need to
Everything
put
is
stuff there.
perfect.
You know
We're
what?
having some fun
I'm just gonna
today.
be
We're
looking
seeing
up the
what
set.
happens.
Yeah, it's an
It's fine.
adventure.
Okay, give me 2 seconds to get my little display up
No
with
worries.
screen share. Okay.
I don't know if it needs to be said, but I will say it. Alex Glow is, of course, a wonderful hardware creator who's been working in the field for quite a long time and has been the face of Hackster and has now become the first pro at Hackster
Yeah.
and is always creating in so many fun ways.
I should thank you for the intro and thank you for running this. I'm so excited to be doing my first Oshwa live stream. I was gonna say, if you'd like to pull up my screen here for a second, I've done
Oh yeah,
a couple of interviews with you on the Hackster channel
it's
for
true.
various Oshwa stuff and also
We're always
personal
on your
stuff.
show, and now you're on our show.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
So we got a whole playlist for Oshwa stuff on Hackster, including OHS swag bags, which are always fun, interviews with Oshwa fellows, Open Hardware Summit overviews, and anyway, tons of cool stuff with y'all. Love it. Anyway, so I probably should have put up. This is the actual site. Okay, so this is me. As you mentioned, I am a pro. I'm the first pro partner. There are other pros, but I'm not sure if there's other partners. Anyway, the pro program is super cool. Basically, Hackster works as an agency to link you up with companies who want to pay you to make stuff with their tech, and it's awesome. So I've got a bunch of different things, as you mentioned, that I'm working on, and I'd love to share. I have a list. Y'all tell me what you're most interested in seeing. So we've got Archimedes updates. I'm definitely going to do that. I'm working on a new tutorial that I've just... Where the heck did the tab go? Oh yeah, I only have one monitor. I'm gonna publish this real quick as a work in progress. But Archimedes 3, aka Frankenmedes, I'm about to publish, and I got some. I need to like tune in and watch the whole video of that talk about Creative Commons licenses because I always get confused about what the differences ones are on like the MIT license and the GPLs and all the good stuff. We've also got things that I'm doing with the Arduino Alvik for Halloween. So this is an adorable little bot that's compatible with Lego stuff, and it's got this like, I've been making 3D printed parts and templates for such so that you can design your own 3D printed parts. We could look at that in Onshape if I can remember the login. We've also, I thought I would show a bunch of PCBs that I have never shown before on video. So I make a bunch of like my own PCBs. We can stop screen sharing if that's cool. So I can show some stuff close up. Thank you. I know how annoying it is to wrangle all that stuff live. But anyways, so at Maker Faire Bay Area last weekend, I showed some people some of these PCBs that I've made over the years, but never shared for various reasons, including technically unfeasible when I learned that you can't put a tension, there's ways apparently to get around this, but putting a tension-mounted battery mount on a flex PCB is not a great idea, and you end up with this. But apparently, according to Chloe Madison, there's ways that you can ask them to thicken selective parts of a flex PCB so that it is more resilient. Go open source. Anyway, so I got a ton of PCBs to show. You could also have a look at my horrible workspace. I don't recommend that. I've got a media production kit that I use for events and for producing stuff in the studio that could be interesting for people who want to document stuff. My hair is also an open source project. It's documented on my website, and it is in an interstitial stage right now. I'm happy to answer questions about that. I've also got my favorite pens here, and a bunch of cool stuff I picked up from friends at Maker Faire, which I think I definitely will do. Also, I've just set up a Kali Linux desktop for my apartment. So that's using a Pi 400. The Pi 500 Plus has just come out. I should plug that in real quick and just show you because it does a cool thing. So basically, I'm giving you like a menu. People in the comments, if you want to tell me what you're interested in seeing, I will dive into those. Plug
Okay,
it in.
definitely. I want to see all your cool haul from Maker Faire. I feel like that's
Oh yeah,
that's a good starting point.
I will do that. Oh, come on, think. There we go. So Pi 500 Plus. Anyway, I just wanted to show you all that because it's cool. But the Kali Linux desktop is based on the Pi 400. And then one more thing on the menu, mind-altering gadgets. So I gave this talk at Teardown this year, and then an abbreviated, but a different version at Maker Faire Bay Area, which was, I have a bunch of those to show off, and also action shots of my PCBs actually being used. So this one I wear a lot as an earring, and but it's hard to explain sort of what it is. I'll get into that in a sec. So first, let's start off, as you said, with the Maker Faire haul, and then I'll definitely show you Archimedes, and I'll probably run off the rails and run out of time. But if there's any time left, we'll look at the other stuff. Cool. So I don't have this in a container or anything, so it's gonna be a mess. And I might have missed some stuff, but so I got a bunch of cool swag from people, like stickers and patches and stuff, but I wanted to bring the hardware things, physical stuff to show y'all. So first off, I got a couple of things from DF Robot. So this is a new version of their Uni-Hiker. Well, I don't know how new it is, but it's an upgraded version. It's basically a little device that runs various models on it, machine learning type things. And I'm curious about using this because I developed a consent-based camera in the past that would detect a QR code specifically leading to the project. And if it didn't see that, it wouldn't take a photo. Then, so I'm curious about doing some more like consent and small model based stuff with that. Also this thing, which is called a Rainbow Link, a USB prototyping protocol decoder device type thing. I need to learn more about that, and I'm interested in learning more about reverse engineering and repair and security and stuff like that. So it'll be an interesting thing to explore. What else we got? Sloths, something, something, something. The keyboard to wearable dupe Python. This is stuff from Chipperdoodles. Chippy is amazing. Does so much cool stuff. Acrobot, got a sticker from that. I just have to, it's not hardware, but this guy performs with an acrobatic robot that he designed that is called Acrobat, obviously, and ended up giving him a tour of San Francisco, so I figured I'd throw that in. Botango is a tool that allows you to program robots with lifelike movements, and it's got like a graphical interface that you use to move the robot around, sort of rigged on a screen. And then you can basically export that as an animation that runs on the robot servos. So I love Archimedes, and I love how he's like very robot-y in his movements, but I think it would be cool to make some more naturalistic movements, either for Archimedes or for other bots in the future. So they ended up giving me one of these servo boards that you can use to break out servos from an Arduino. And he does currently run on an Uno, although I'm planning on upgrading his brain to a companion core, which is one of my PCBs. It's one of my faves. It's got this cool skeleton, which is very Halloween coded. So welcome to October. Then got a couple from Darcy. Where did the little UFO guy go? Where'd you go? Ah, fell. Okay. If you hear weird noises, by the way, I sit on a yoga ball, and it makes farty noises sometimes. I'm sorry. It's not me, I promise. Anyway, so this is an SAO mount board, which I adore. It's so cool. So it holds SAOs in the simple add-on format, the one with 6 pins. If you're not familiar, SAOs are add-ons for PCB badges, circuit board art badges, which are become very popular as an art form in recent years, as evidenced by what I'm going to show you in a bit. And this is basically a platform for developing add-ons for those, where you put this header on. You could do a 4-pin one, the original shitty add-on designed by Brian, oh, what's your last name? Brian Benchoff. And so that one had, I think, power and ground, and then was it I2C? And then this one, I think, adds a couple of GPIOs. This version, the simple add-on, which I think is by Twinkle Twinkie, but I could be lying. Supercon has also tried to make them be called Supercon add-ons, or Hackaday has tried to do that, but everyone just calls them SAOs anyway, or SAOs. I made my first one recently for DEF CON, and actually that's a lie, I made an older one. But so this is a cool board by Darcy Neal that allows you to prototype those, or just display them by sticking them on here with a couple of batteries. Beautiful. I saw this and I just like flipped out. Isn't it gorgeous? This like sort of raster lo-fi art is just gorgeous. And then also an adorable little UFO kit that lights up and stuff, which is a sort of blown up part of the design from the EMF Explorer badge, which I think I obtained at a previous Open Hardware Summit. Darcy has definitely shown them at OHS in the past. So very cool little board, very purple. Is this Osh Park? It looks like it. Extremely Osh Park purple. Wait, what's in the back? Let's find out. Cool. And oh yeah, it's got the Osh Park purple PCBs hex sticker on there. I think I got a couple of those on my desk actually. They've, I don't know if they still do it, but Osh Park for a while has been doing a number of sort of a series of hex bin stickers, hex bin compatible, hexb.in. If you want to make your own hex stickers that are sort of interlock with other ones, that's how you find the design. So anyway, Osh Park rules. And then we've got a little tiny LiPo charger from Alpenglow, aka Carrie Sundra, who makes really cool little things. This one makes me really happy because I long ago created a series called Charmware, which were like little modules that you can sort of chain together to do stuff with. And I've been thinking about expanding the series and seeing what other people use as like little PCB whatsits, you know? What kind of little PCB whatsits do you want to make? Like I have, for example, been wanting to make one that does very simple ATtiny 85 @tiny whatever chip to NeoPixels plus power and like 5-volt power kind of situation. Just a tiny little adapter, like a gem, you know? And so I don't think I was planning on making a LiPo charger, but I adore that, like, I want to just have these tiny little PCBs around that do stuff. And then also from Alpenglow, this, which is a, so you can get these, I think everyone says them Cob or COB, I don't remember. I made a poll at some point, but these little earrings with these off-the-shelf Cob shapes, and they light up gorgeously. So huge props to Alpenglow for that. I was wearing it around, as were a lot of people at Maker Faire. They were kind of like the thing. And they're USB rechargeable, USB-C. Love power systems, honestly. There's a lot of people using supercaps these days, and I want to try and get in on those, but Carrie/Alpenglow has been doing some really cool stuff with adapting things that would usually be running off of CR2032 coin cells and having them run off of USB instead. So having this little guy be USB chargeable is really cool. Let me show you, actually. I just ordered a bunch of these. And by just, I mean like 6 months ago. Alpenglow also makes these little adapters for coin cell power. Look at that design on this thing. Anyway, so if you've got like badges that run off of CR2032 coin cells, you can adapt them to run off of 5 volts USB. And then this little switch, there's one for on and off, and then there's one for 5 volts versus 3 volts. So you can run them off of full 5-volt USB power, and also there's these little chains that allow you to daisy chain them together. And by chains, I mean there's JST connectors for batteries, typically, but in this case, you can also use them to chain the devices together so that you can have one USB feed powering a whole chain of different devices. So super cool. I love the design on that. Then finally, also apologies if I miss anybody because it's chaos over here. I got some pieces of precious plastic from my friend Jason, who's been doing professional 3D printing for ages. Turns out there's a precious plastic group down in Sunnyvale, I think, that I'd love to visit. I've been messing around with recycled plastic, which I go into a little bit with the new Archimedes tutorial. I've been messing around with this for years, but I have never gotten a flat squisher thing, which could be like a sandwich press or a t-shirt. Some people use like a t-shirt press, or different methods to like get these flat sheets out of it. So I've got a little egg, which I like, a sheet that he told me to sort of make whatever with, and then a guitar pick. And as someone who plays a bunch of string instruments and has made my own guitar picks out of, like, you can get a puncher to make them out of like old credit cards and stuff, which works really well actually. I just love how chunky this is, and it's a very satisfying little fidget. So recycled plastic. Let me go ahead and publish this work in progress Hackster project, because I meant to put some photos on it before I did that before this show, but I ended up fighting with my monitors instead. And then we'll get into Archimedes. So, if you don't mind pulling up my screen again, let me see if I can find my cursor. There we go. Why do you think there's another monitor? There's not another monitor, my friend. You let go of the other monitor. It's on you. Sorry. Okay, so Archimedes 3. Let's give it a little publish here. Publish. I am documenting here. I built a project. I'm still working on my project. If you've never used Hackster's editor, it is awesome. There's a checklist where you can see if you've got everything on the list. What happens if I just open this in another tab? Heyo! We get the editor. And so I'm going to add components and stuff and schematics and code in the future. But let's just keep publishing this for now. We got companion bots. There are a lot of companion bots on Hackster, and there's a whole community for them. And they'll be, this project will be automatically added to the community, actually, when I do this. Let's see. I'll say it's advanced. Let's say 8 hours, which is a vast understatement. And I'm going to probably update this later. But let's say, I like saying non-commercial on mine just because I don't want someone else like coming out with a kit before I get around to it. Let's do this. But we'll make it unlisted for now. Anyways, so I'm going to drop this into the private chat, and if, or actually, can I join the chat from here? No. Okay, anyway, I'm going to drop this into the private chat in case anyone's interested. There we go. All right, so back to the tutorial. Recycling stuff. So we've got stuff about control systems. It's all written up. I'm just going to add some stuff to give us some details and some pretty stuff to look at. Pixels. Oh yeah, bike leather. So bike leather is this stuff. Where'd you go? Here we go. Is what I call bicycle inner tubes, which are exactly what they sound like, and you can get them often for free from bike shops, which is pretty cool because they're a waste item from there. I find it's a really versatile material, and all versions of Archimedes have used this in some capacity, but I've also been using like various recycled plastics, is what the sequitur is, the segue from the last thing I talked about. So it doesn't fray. It's really easy to work with. The one problem is attaching it to stuff. So let's just go ahead and show you the new version of Archimedes, and I'll walk you through some of the tutorial stuff and whatever as well. But I'm gonna get on screen again if that's okay, and just like show you the attachment process and such like. Okay, so Archimedes, my bot from 2018, my first companion bot ever. This is Frankenmeteors. He's V3 technically, but most of his chassis is from V2. With this is kind of something borrowed and something. This is not a wedding, anyway. But this is from V1, and then there's all this new bike leather stuff I've added on here, like these feathers, and I kind of went a little crazy with the accents, and then we got a little bow tie where I was like leaving for Maker Faire in like 2 hours, and I was like, hey, bow tie, why not? And then a little hat band so that he kind of had a more coherent look, along with the black shoulder brace. This is a neoprene athletic brace, and I think I'm going to add a new little thing to cover his controls. But right now, that's just an Uno on there. Where is it? Here we go. And hanging off of it is this button for the speech module, which has become unsoldered partly, so we're not going to get any speech today. Dang. Maybe I'll repair it on the stream. Also, his wing is doing weird stuff. But let's put this on, and then I'll show you the lights, which are new, and some of the other stuff. You may notice that RGV1 had a speaker and a camera in his eyes. That one was set up with the Google AIY Vision kit, and it ran a demo that would supposedly detect people's emotions, so it'd see if people were smiling or frowning, and then would like respond to that. Get on there. Ah! Maybe it's the angle. There we go. Usually it's a little easier. Maybe I got bigger biceps or something. I can dream, right? That's what the problem is. My biceps are too jacked. Anyway, so I just pull this elastic strap around my torso, and I secure it to this little buckle here, blow into the tube to inflate. That's an airplane joke for some reason. There we go. So new Archimedes, instead of a camera and speaker in his eyes, he has moonstones, which diffuse beautifully. The LEDs that are behind there. Yes, I'm going to hype up my own project by saying it's beautiful. I built him that way, so whatever. I'm just going to plug in the lights real quick so you can see him come on while I assemble this horribleness. I do have a cool new hip pack that all this horribleness goes in, and I'm going to be replacing his brain, but shh, don't tell him. Doop. So, on the subject of bike leather, we've got this bike inner tube that has a whole line of NeoPixels running through it. The problem with this is that I, this time, decided to take the silicone tubing off the outside of the NeoPixels before I ran them through the bike tube, which was a mistake because now they feel really flimsy, but it wraps around my arm. And not along with the headphone cable, thank you. Ooh-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. And then you get this like really cyborgy kind of like umbilical cable effect. Sorry if this is whapping the microphone. I don't usually do this on camera, but anyway, I'm gonna be putting some better pictures in the tutorial. So those run up. His lighting system is completely autonomous from the rest of the bot. We've got these quarter circle NeoPixel strips from Adafruit. Turns out that they have like a, I think 60 millimeter, no, it's, I don't know what it is exactly. It's like 6-inch diameter-ish. NeoPixel ring, but you buy it in 4 parts. So one of those quarter arcs just fits perfectly in his little like wing curves here. And then he's also got a little sort of curled up length of NeoPixel strip inside of his head, which 2 of those are glued to the insides of his eyes with sort of like a mound of hot glue attaching them and providing a kind of light guide, because if they're squished right up against the moonstones, they look kind of weird, but if they're like pulled back a little bit, then they diffuse really nicely through the hot glue. Lots of people make like hot glue based gems and resin based gems and use that as a cool diffuser. So people do that with SAOs actually. They and circuit board art. I've got one that does that. Where's my glow up? I've got way too much stuff here to show y'all, but we'll get around to that. Anyway, so other stuff. He's got a new speech module, which is this DF Robot speech module that it's a little audio guy that just sits under here in a very unobtrusive way. It's really easy to get it set up. It basically is called the MP3 Voice Prompt Module, and it's going to be linked in the tutorial. It already is, but I need to put it in the BOM. It's this self-contained little sort of potted device. I stuck some gold nail polish on there to mark the ground side because it's important. I did the same thing to the cable, which is a lot harder to tell which way it goes. Anyway, so you basically download MP3s onto this thing, and I've found that it's very versatile in the types of MP3s that it will accept. And I generated these speech files using TTS MP3. Is that what it is? Let's find out. It is in the tutorial. TTSmp3.com, all one word, and used that to generate some speech files using a particular voice that I used for Archimedes before in the when I first had him be my co-host for Hackster's UNDP UN Development Program COVID-19 Detect and Protect Contest Awards. So I've been using a specific voice for him in the past. That was in obviously 2020 or 21 maybe. And I decided to go with the same one, but in the future I might give him a more robot-y voice, just like one of the built-in Apple ones that sounds super robot, because I want him to sound even more sort of like machine. So that's his speech module. Yeah. Okay, so here's where I put the gold nail polish on the cable as well, because I managed to enclose the entire thing in hot glue before I thought about noting which orientation it was in. So in order to help myself not forget, both sides are marked with the gold. What else is new? We got some lights, we got some speech, which unfortunately has desoldered itself. I'm not going to live solder it on my shoulder, but I might pull it off later and do that. Then we've got the horrible power system for his brain. This is a little USB hub with separate controls or separate power for his Arduino brain and his servos, and that basically makes it easy to work on all his functions that are not motors and still have the rest of the robot on. Because if you have the motors going the entire time, it's really annoying. The same thing for when I'm either giving a talk or attending a talk. You don't want to be sitting in the audience going at random intervals and stuff like that. So and also when I've got a mic up to my face, same thing. So this guy is on a USB hub. Aw, thanks. And the hub is plugged into this Keep Alive device, which basically keeps the battery from shutting down due to undercurrent, because it doesn't think anything's plugged in. I've got a big beefy battery. This is also from Hackster's Impact Summit. It's a Nimble battery, and it does lots of amps, which I like. And so I plugged that into there. During Maker Faire, the cable on this, the connection on this got really wiggly, so I stuck a little rubber feet on it. A rubber foot that you use for decorations and stuff. Oh yeah, also he's attached to the mount with a GoPro. So I designed and 3D printed some custom GoPro pieces because I figured it'd be easy to attach and detach him. And that does work really well, and I can adjust the angle and it's great. But for the first time since 2020, I think 2021, I think is when I built this one. Anyway, for the first time, finally, it had to happen. But his GoPro mount, which was 3D printed, finally gave up the ghost and started just flopping over, which was suboptimal. And I have the booth to thank, who have a ton of R2D2s and C3PO, an amazing C3PO model actually. I've got some video of that that I'll be sharing. So anyway, this amazing booth had a beautiful hot glue gun and helped me just freeze his joint into place so that the Maker Faire could go on. And of course it was the morning of the first day of Maker Faire, which is classic. Classic, Archie. The thing I've got his voice doing right now is actually sort of a last minute whim. He says kind of snarky, backhanded, insulting things oh, what an excellent outfit for a circus juggler kind of thing. Or are you always this charming? What a pity. Anyway, that was a late night decision because he's always a jerk to me, so I don't want other people to think that he's nice, because that would be a massive lie, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it, Archie? Why are you leaning like that? I gotta fix this. But anyway, part of it is like I don't want him whapping the microphone. He used to try and stab me in the eyes with his eyebrows, so I trim these down now. Anyway, what do we got here? Open source robot friends. I'm gonna look at some of the comments here. Do-do-do-do-do. Late to ask, but did you certify your hair? Might try to replicate it if it is. I have not yet OSHA certified it. No, I am a huge fan of the like certifying hardware stuff that is not electronics, like SparkFun iconically did with their Shovel, which is a sort of camping friendly metal spork device. It's really useful actually for camping. I don't think they designed it that way necessarily, but I've found it incredibly useful for like opening bear boxes where you like store your food in this like tub that locks so that bears don't get attracted to your campsite. And they're really hard to open unless you have like thumbnails of steel. So the shovel is kind of like a thumbnail of steel. Excellent non-electronic hardware, open hardware certified device. Amazing work, and it's really cool looking too. Plus, you can eat with it. So, where is I going with this? Oh yes, I have not certified my hair is OSHA certified, but let me show you my old website, which I love, and I'm trying to preserve. If I may show the screen for a second. So there's an old page on here. If you just go to alexglow.com, yes, it's got problems with security, like the certificate and stuff. It's a problem, known issue. But if you go to miscellaneous projects, I got my hair down here, and you can see the old FAQ. And like some evolution stuff, as well as the Unicode breaking or whatever's going on down there. And then like different cute little fading effects and stuff. And really out of date CV. But anyway, so the new site is less cool, but a lot easier to update because I can do it from my phone. So if you scroll way down to the bottom here, you will find some sort of like random pages that I make for various things and share that don't really go under any specific category. So for example, this is a giant list of different tools that I've been learning about. It's just a collection, it's not recommendations, but I do have notes about different ones that I've used for enhancing your personal digital privacy and security. As someone who has worked in or been sort of like a female-shaped public figure in hardware for a long time, this is something that's been a huge, just really on my mind, I guess, for a number of years. And so I've been personally interested in it, and over the years have developed a number of my own techniques, but also have been researching lots of different ways to keep your stuff safe. So that's one of those things that you'll find down at the bottom of my main page. Just tons of different options for you to explore. Anyway, another one is my new hair FAQ. Oh yeah, put it on the Internet Archive. And I've got some like stuff about the process. So right now we are in this step. I have bleached my hair once, but I need to do one more round of bleach and then do the anti-brass toner. And then there's another part of it in terms of the cut, where if I'm bleaching it, then I will leave the sides long. They're kind of grown out right now, but since I've just bleached it and I'm going to do it again, I'm going to buzz it afterwards, because the bleach often gets onto the like short hair a little bit, and if I leave it and then cut it later, then the bleach only gets onto the tips of that, and then I buzz it and it looks really nice and clean. But if I were to buzz it now, then you'd see those random patches of bleach along the edges because I'm not perfect, and it'd be a problem. So let's see, any other questions? Twinkle Twinkie has awesome documentation about creating your own SAOs. Yeah. Oh yes, more discourse about the different add-ons. Yeah, Shitty add-on was the original, then the Simple add-on, and then SuperCon add-on. Oh yeah. So apparently the SAO Expander Dagger by Darcy is a limited edition. I feel so lucky. Oh, ha, ha, ha. Okay, cool. So open source robot friends, excellent. Let's go into, so I'm gonna finish updating that Archimedes tutorial and I created a sort of overview page of all the Archie versions on my page, which you can also find under my hardware projects here. I'm going to make it a lot more obvious in the future. But right here at the top under companion bots, you can see all the different ones, as well as a bunch of my PCBs and stuff, just to sort of categorize and sort my Hackster projects, which are in a huge jumble on my Hackster profile, because I got like 100 and something of them. Anyway, there's a sort of master page for Archie, which includes various write-ups. I'm going to put the new one under here. Then there's a little bit of media coverage, various videos, talks, and interviews I've done about him. And I do want to open hardware certify some of my PCBs, which I'm not sure where we are on time here, actually. Usually I have the like counter going up in the corner when I'm doing like live stuff on my own, and it just starts from 0. So,
Well,
how we doing?
you're officially you have 1 minute left, but our next guest is not here yet. So let's just
Okay,
keep going.
You can keep
I'll-
going.
Yeah. Let's just-
sweet. I'll just cruise for a minute and then feel free to stop me at any point. But so anyway, there's some signal stickers. This is the old one, but I'll put the new link to better signal stickers for that. Anyway, so if we can get a camera up, that'd be fantastic. And I will show you my other stuff. Here we go. Hopefully, okay. Well, this is suboptimal, but that's okay. This is more stuff that I was going to fix when the problems with the monitor hit. Here's the programming cable for that audio device. Oh, we can't auto do the focus on this. Also, the Lego background is not perfect. So it goes. Let's look at some PCBs. I'm gonna fix the focus real quick though. I'll start with the ones that I haven't published anywhere else because I think that's the most interesting thing. Is that sharp? Ah, ha ha ha, yes. Cool. All right. So this kite one I haven't really published anywhere. It's got a stylized Art Deco version of my initials at the top, AG, and then it's just a little glowy thing. It looks really cool as a necklace. I've got it mounted on this wire thing. Ah! Archie is hitting me in the face. And then we've got my actual first SAO, which was this one that I carved on the Bantam PCB desktop mill, which is a companion, not a companion core, a companion, what do you call these things? Oh my gosh. You know, from Portal. I'm so used to saying companion core.
Companion
There,
cube.
thank you. Like this thing has wrecked my brain for that. So one thing I love about this is the little heart detail. Osh Park After Dark special. It's so good. Ah! Clear solder mask, all black PCB. Okay, more Whirlwind Tour. I have made this PCB ruler with Quarles emblems, which were beautiful old book illustrations in the public domain. Ah, it's gorgeous. I use these for all kinds of PCBs. Including one that goes on the side of a yo-yo for my friend Doc Pop, actually. So this is something that we haven't gotten around to sharing anywhere, but he makes these yo-yos that have replaceable sides, swappable designs in the sides. And so this is, wait, is Mohib next? I see him in the chat. Haha.
Yeah, he is.
Okay, let me wrap up then. Here's a flex version of the ruler. Doesn't work well, but the idea is you can wrap it around stuff. Here's my glow up, which is a thing to shine blue light in your eyes in very specific ways that help you wake up. Here's that. There's a like failed flex version of my other PCB. I'll do like a dedicated stream about this sometime soon because anyway, then we'll get into that. All right. If I may have my camera back, I'll just say goodbye. Hello? Oh wait, that's on me.
Is
I
that
gotta switch my
you?
camera back. Sorry.
I'm like, is
We
it me?
support you,
I don't
but
think it's me.
Oh my god. Well, I thought about having Archie like do a quick speech thing to say goodbye, but he's desoldered it. It's definitely his fault and not mine. So I'll say for both of us, thank you so much to Oshwa for doing a cool stream. I hope you get lots of new signups. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna get a sweet sloth poster. I'm gonna certify my PCBs. Life's gonna be amazing. And everybody, thanks for joining and hack on. And stick around for Mohib. He's awesome.
Thanks, Alex.
Ciao.